I have no idea. Look, there's all sorts of hyperbole tonight and just this fantastical, these hypotheticals they've made up. Future presidents are going to turn into assassins and all the rest. It's madness. Listen, remember this. The president and the vice president are the only two offices in our constitutional system that are elected by all the people. No one who is elected to that office is going to be prone to this kind of crazy criminal activity.
What do you mean is going to be? He already was. He broke the law over and over and over again at the state and federal level and on the personal and political level, repeatedly in plain view, and then told us it's cool, he just gets to do that. And then the Supreme Court decided that it is cool, he just does get to do that. But again, he's talking about this, Mike Johnson, as if it's some sort of like, let's speculate. Let's hypothesize about the future. You'd never have an immoral person be president or whatever. Okay, let's test that theory. Let's go to a little bit of audio of Donald Trump talking about how important morality is to him in the grand scheme of things.
It's all about one thing, ratings. If you have ratings, you can be the meanest, most horrible human being in the world. There's only one thing that matters, ratings. You can be nice or you can be mean. You can be evil, you can be horrible, you can be crude or elegant. There's only one thing that matters, and that's ratings. If you don't have ratings, it doesn't matter.
So that is Donald Trump technically talking about his ability to get a show or whatever, but that is obviously, I think, the most concise and cogent explanation of his view of life, of how you live, that we have ever heard. And look, I think it's utterly amoral at the very least. He really doesn't seem to care who you are or what you do, as long as you draw the eye, as long as you're from central casting, as long as people pay attention to you. And I would argue that in 2024, it's more true than it's ever been. I mean, why is he the guy that took over the Republican Party? Because of his amazing grasp of policy? No, he always gets ratings, always. And that's how he's succeeded. The other right-wingers that have risen to positions of notoriety, either in media or in elected positions, it's the same thing. It's not because they're competent or intelligent or curious or compassionate or have any of those characteristics. They get the ratings. So look, whether we agree or not that he might be right, that is what he thinks fundamentally. The important thing is just people pay attention to you, you're interesting, you draw the eye. But Mike Johnson is here to tell us that, like, come on, you're never gonna get elected by the American people if you're bad or anything. Trump was the guy that said he could shoot someone and get elected before the first time he got elected.
The video will continue in just a moment, but first I have a message for you. TYT needs your help. Membership is vital to survival, so please go to tyt.com/team and become a member today.
Sharon, what do you make of this?
Yeah, and after he said that, remember Susan Collins? She told us after he was impeached the first time, he's learned his lesson. This isn't gonna happen again. This is just stupid at this point. When someone tells you this is who I am, unapologetically, it's not like he's changed and pivoted and he's artful at this, like most narcissists. He's pretty consistent. I am a crook. I am a liar. He tells us every day when he steps out, when he breathes in the morning, okay? When he breathes, that's who he is. And yet there's all these apologists, and I don't, Mike Johnson is full of it. Mr. I tote a Bible around and I'm just such a moral guy. You're following a criminal, you know he's a criminal, and you're doing it anyway. You don't care about America, you're not a patriot. These people 100%. Know what they're doing.
Yeah, and look, again, so the idea that it's an elected position, so you never have like an evil person get through. What are you talking? Donald Trump, I think a good case could be made and should be made about virtually every politician that's ever been elected has had massive flaws. I would say on average, far more flaws and failings and negative characteristics than any random person who hasn't been elected. They are worse than us on average. But Trump is the biggest con man we've ever had in politics. He's the biggest liar we've ever had in politics. He has every failing that you can imagine, every personal or values failing, every negative characteristic. He has every single one of them. He also has no ability or interest to hide that from anyone. It's always been clear how big of a con man he is. He's got scandals going back decades. He lies, verifiable lies 100 times a day. And the reason I bring this up is that the people who voted for him in 2016 saw all of this. It wasn't just that they couldn't tell that he was evil. They didn't care about any of this stuff, about the lies or the not just the cons against other people, the cons against them, the scams against them. We had Trump University and we had all of this stuff. He robs and attacks them and they vote for him. And so in a larger sense to Mike Johnson, no, I don't have faith in the electorate to weed out literally anything. You could have a serial killing cannibal with blood and intestines dripping from their mouth. And I'm not sure that the MAGA base would not vote them to be Secretary of State of Kansas or something. Like, do not expect whatever you think is going to save us, whether it's the institutions or the norms or precedent or the electorate. No, at best, we will save ourselves. Us, nothing external to us. Certainly not the people on the other side of the aisle. When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?